The legendary city of Atlantis may have really existed, according to a new video released by the Discovery Channel. They found 10 new clues that suggest the lost civilization was real. But what does it really mean? Does this mean we should believe Plato's story about an island nation that sank into the sea? Or are there other explanations for the existence of Atlantis? I made a video about this a while ago, but I wanted to make an updated version with some more recent discoveries and theories. So here's the real story of Atlantis, Part 2. As you might remember from my previous video, Atlantis first appears in Plato's text, specifically in 2 of his dialogues, The Republic and the Laws. In these texts, Atlantis is described as an actual historical place. It's mentioned in the same way he mentions Athens or Sparta, which were very real places. However, Plato also mentions many incredible things about the Atlanteans. He says they had advanced technology like chariots and weapons powered by fire, that they lived in a utopian society ruled by philosopher kings, and that their military was unmatched in the ancient world. And obviously, aside from their advanced technology, none of this sounds particularly Atlantean. For this reason, most people assume Plato was making a lot of stuff up, and that Atlantis never existed outside of his texts. However, if we take Plato at his word, then where was Atlantis located? Plato tells us it was located in the Atlantic Ocean, far away from the Strait of Gibraltar, which would place it somewhere near the Azores Islands or the Madeira Islands. There are also some references in his text to a big river, which would suggest that Atlantis was located near the mouth of a large river, such as the Nile or the Tigris or Euphrates rivers. But let's be honest, if you take everything Plato said literally, including his description of an advanced Atlantean civilization, then you're going to have a hard time explaining why no one has found any evidence of the city. For this reason, most scholars believe that Atlantis was a completely fictional place, a figment of Plato's imagination. However, there are others who disagree. To them, Plato wasn't making up the story. Atlantis really did exist. It really was a powerful naval force, and it really did sink into the ocean, taking its advanced civilization with it. Now, I am not going to get into all the details of the lost civilization theory, because I already did that in my last video. But the general idea is that the island nation of Atlantis really did exist. But over time, due to a series of natural disasters, much of the island sank beneath the waves, killing off its advanced civilization. What's interesting is that just last year, a group of researchers claimed to have found the sunken ruins of Atlantis, citing various locations in the Mediterranean Sea, including the Azores Islands, Sardinia, and even Cyprus. They cited geological evidence, archaeological findings, and even Plato's own text to support their claims. So what does this all mean? Was Atlantis really a place that existed in the past? Or is it simply a story with a deeper meaning? Well, that's still up for debate. There are good arguments on both sides. On the one hand, you have Plato's text, which is our only first-hand account of the Atlanteans. And in this text, he clearly states that Atlantis was a real place. However, there's no other evidence to support this claim. Aside from Plato's text, we have zero archaeological evidence of the Atlanteans or their supposed civilization. And if you take everything Plato said at face value, then it doesn't really make sense. An island nation that is technologically advanced enough to field a navy capable of invading Europe and Africa should have left behind some sort of evidence. The fact that there's been zero discoveries lends credence to the idea that Atlantis never really existed. On the other hand, though, we can't ignore the possibility that the Atlanteans were real, that they did live on an island in the Atlantic Ocean, and that they did have a powerful navy. After all, there are many places around the world that fit Plato's description of Atlantis, and we have no reason to doubt his account. If anything, we should approach his text as a potential eyewitness account, rather than outright fiction. In the end, though, it doesn't really matter whether Atlantis existed or not. What matters is that Plato used Atlantis as a vehicle to teach his philosophical ideas. Whether the story is true or false doesn't really matter. What matters is that we strive to be better people. So do you think Atlantis was real? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.